All right. Hello and welcome. I'm super excited. I have Karen here with me tonight, and our topic this evening is grief is not the end. And what a beautiful day. It's the Lion Gate portal. It's 8/8, lots of good energy. How are you, Karen?
I am wonderful, and I'm so excited to be here with you, Kiki. I just love talking to you. It's just such a beautiful energy when I'm with you.
Oh, thank you. I love our conversations as well. So I know several folks are excited. I wouldn't say excited, but intrigued by the topic for this evening. So,
I believe it.
yeah, you want to share with our audience who you are and a little bit about what you do, and then we'll dive in.
Okay. Well, I'm Karen Tavolieri, and I created Peacock Memories, and it is with regards to I spent 6 years trying to figure out who I wanted to be and who I was after going through 30 years of taking care of a disabled child and losing her in the end. And I couldn't find a way out of grief. It was just no matter what kind of classes I went to, I struggled. So I went on a journey, and that journey took me to learning vision boards, as well as learning about Enneagrams, which taught me a lot about myself. And then I went on to become an NLP practitioner, as well as a Reiki master. And I just couldn't get enough. I was learning so much about how to heal myself. So that's how I ended up here today, is just through all that.
Yes, and you and I met on a women's networking Zoom call, and I was very intrigued. You have a saying that you use.
Yes, that grief is not a life sentence, but it is definitely a life changer.
Yes. And I immediately connected with that. You and I had talked about my dear friend who passed of cancer in 2020 and kind of set me off a similar journey. So, have
It's a very hard thing to for some people to find their way past it. I know I give a lot of credit to the people who I went to support groups, and I went every month, and they were amazing, but they didn't give me that push over the edge to find my way out. And that was where I struggled. It's that Ferris wheel. You go round and round and round, and every month you come back to the same place.
yeah. And I felt that. I know I was in denial for a lot in the beginning, for sure. And then we were at a place where couldn't have the funeral, so couldn't really properly go through the motions to grieve and say goodbye. So,
That would be hard.
yeah.
Yeah, I lost a friend during COVID, and just losing my friend was hard enough. I couldn't imagine losing, like an immediate family member, someone like that through COVID. It must have been a horrible time. Um, yes,
So we, like you said, it's not a life sentence.
definitely not. I mean, I look at it, if I can get through it, and I had no training in anything. I was a stay-at-home mom for 30 years with my daughter, and if I can get through it, I can help other women do it as well. It's just having that, finding that way to get hold of all the beautiful things, like I had told you before, about all the beautiful things, the memories that you have of your best friend, and that I have my daughter, holding them really close and releasing and letting go of all the baggage, the pain, the guilt, the shame, and letting that all sit behind us and walking away from it, and just cherishing our memories and learning how to walk in peace with that is what it's all about.
Yes, and that was hard. I think as I avoided the pain and the crying or the grieving and the actual like process for such a long time, but once I embraced it and kind of let it flow through me, it was brighter on the other side.
Yes, it is. But it's finding that, because we don't all have friends who have that knowledge to be able to teach us how to get out of that, right? And it's
Yes.
finding that person who can show you the light at the end of the tunnel, just for sake of anything else to say of how to explain it. But that really truly is what it's all about, is getting someone who can relate to you first off, and who can find a way to show you little tricks and little tools, and learn how to release shame and grief. They're the biggest baggage we carry around, and guilt.
Yes.
And yeah, and I know you felt it all, and
Yep.
just like I did. And I thought that I couldn't. survive without my daughter. That was what life was about, was taking care of her. And it was like, what about me? Someone said to me, well, you need to take care of you. How do I do that? I don't know how to do that anymore. And I'm sure you felt that too. Moving on.
Yes, she wanted me to be there for her husband and take care of him, and I did. I helped him clean out her apartment, went through stuff. So I think I was really numb in the beginning, and similar things like, Kiki, have you had time to process? I'll get there. I'll make time. It's okay. I need to be there for him. Um, and he actually passed earlier this year, so they're
Oh,
together.
oh.
So beautiful people.
Yeah, that would be hard. Yes, to have go through all that and then to have him go as well. Yeah, because you leaned on him to help you support you through that loss, right? Just that you helped each other, which is hard.
Yep.
And I know that that's what I was doing. Is I didn't realize until one day I was meeting up with my daughter and a couple friends, and the one lady said to me, "I have a message from your daughter," and I'm like, "You do?" And I didn't know this lady, and she says to me, "Yep." She says, "Your daughter wants to tell you that she didn't go through all her suffering and die for you to live a life that was horrible." And all of a sudden, my oldest daughter looked at me and said, "Yeah, mom, you still have me and the grandkids." And I'm like, it broke my heart. I
Yeah.
literally felt like I had let my whole family down, and, like, I got goosebumps. It just really affected me in such a profound way that that was when I started my journey, was I was realizing that I was no longer me, because I was always a happy-go-lucky person, I'm gonna live forever, I refuse to grow old, age is just a number, mine's unlisted, right? But
I love
I
that.
I was slowly, slowly dying a little bit at a time, and I didn't realize it. And I know there's many, many women out there who are like that, many young people who have lost a special person in their life, or it can even be a loss of grief, can be a divorce. It can be
Mhm.
your children moving out and being an empty nester, and it's that, what's next for me? And if you're
Right.
like me, you have no idea. So where do you start? So that's kind of where I come in now, and I can help women who can figure out their what's next and move past all that shame and guilt and fear and sadness, and find their way to that happy person that their family knows and loves and misses.
Yes. No, I love that. And you mentioned several things on your journey. I know vision board was one of them, but it's a specific type of vision boarding, correct?
Well, I do Dare to Declare. I'm a facilitator with them,
Okay.
and we not only do vision boards, but we also do power word. And you take and you do a mini card with a power word for the year, and that's really a good thing to get started with. And when you have a vision board and you know you've done them, and
Yes.
manifesting them and watching them manifest and learning how to manifest, because that's not something you just naturally know for some people.
Right.
Yeah, and I found it was, like, so intriguing, and it was like, "Wow, I can actually do this?" And learning mindset and stuff like that, that really can help you grow and help you to become that person that you're meant to be, not stuck in that grief.
Yes. And I mean, we really are the creators of our reality, and energy flows where attention goes. So you get to choose what you put
Yes.
your attention on, and you can create things, and you do have a choice. I think take a lot of that's taking your own power back instead of giving it away.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as a person who, especially parents who have had a disabled child and who have gone through years and years and years of taking care of that person, or a parent, even, or a loved one of any kind, and you've spent so many years working with that person and helping them and letting them thrive. And then you stop and it's like, now what? So your focus has been on that one thing and you've helped them so much. And it's like, oh no, what do I do now?
Yeah.
It's hard. So I'm blessed that I was able to get through it, and that I had that person who spoke to me and said that it's not meant to be this way. And when I went on that journey, that's when I really realized it's not a life sentence. I thought it was, and
Mm.
that my world would never be the same. And it won't be. But it doesn't mean that everything else that used to be happy and fun and joyous doesn't have to stop. Because I hated Christmas after, because her and I and her sister loved Christmas so much. To me, Christmas was gone, it was over. But now I've learned to embrace Christmas and embrace the memories that I had with her and how we spent them together for so many years. And now I can look at it as fun again and enjoy it.
Yeah. No, my friend Sonia, she loved Christmas. Loved Christmas. Like we would do jingle ball dance parties and decorate, and she would find all the crazy like fitness holiday themed shirts. So, and she passed on December 12th of 2020.
Oh,
So,
wow. And that can be such a beautiful memory for you, that she passed away on a time that she loved so much, that it meant so much for her that you would be able to celebrate that time that you loved together so much with her, and be able to remember her at that time, the same thing. That's pretty cool
yeah,
that she did that, because sometimes it falls on a time when it's like you don't normally think about it. Like, it's like middle of August, you wouldn't think about it so much, right?
yeah.
But because you guys had such a great relationship with Christmas, that makes you think more about it. I
Yes, and
love that.
she was a fighter. The doctors told her 2 weeks, and she said, "No, I'm going to stay around and vote, and I'll pass when I'm ready." So she made it through Thanksgiving, made it through the election, and yeah, passed
I
with.
love it. That's such a spitfire. She sounds very much like the spirit of my daughter Julie. When she was born, they told me she wouldn't live past 2,
Mm,
and we got her to 2 weeks shy of her 30th birthday.
how
Yes.
amazing!
Yes, she was quite the child, I'll tell you. She went over 110 surgeries in her lifetime, and we almost lost her probably about 10 times. And we could always whisper in her ear and get her to come back. We'd give her something to think about. And the last one was, my fiance and I had been engaged for many years, and he whispered in her ear, "If you come back, I'll marry your mother." And she was in the coma, and her sister, she was away in Algeria at the time, and she made a call, and they put the phone to her ear, and she said, "You can't die on me. I bought you chocolates in Paris, and you're going to eat them with me." And she woke up from it about a month later, and the first words out of her mouth were, "Where's my chocolates, and when are you marrying my mom?"
Well, hot diggity dog.
Yes. And so that's a testimony that they do hear us when we talk to them when they are not well. And it's something to remember, that always talk to those who are in a coma and let them know how you feel, and be there with them and encourage them, because it truly was a testimony to me that there's no doubt about it, that they hear every word we say and they know what's going on. So
Wow, that's amazing. So you mentioned a couple other tools. Tell me a little bit more about the Enneagram. I've heard it. I haven't taken any tests. I have no idea what I am. But how would you describe it in your own words?
Well, Enneagram taught me about the fact that I sit on a certain number. You have numbers, and then you have numbers to either side of you. And it really made me realize how much of a people pleaser I had been my whole life. And it's not something that you can be proud of, because being a people pleaser means that you just do things because you feel you have to make people happy, not because you want them to feel good or you want you to feel good. It's just out of guilt, more or less. And so
Right.
I learned how to choose how I wanted to react to someone, which was huge in the beginning. It was very tough to do, but I
Mm,
realized that in the end, I made them happier and I made me happier.
awesome.
Yes, an Enneagram, you can do a free test online. Just punch in Enneagram on Google, and it'll come up with a free test. And you just answer the questions honestly, and it'll give you a number, and it'll tell you what are the things you should look for in your life that you need to work on, or that you need to just let go. And that was a huge eye opener for me. And it made me realize that I had bigger things to do in life than what I was doing.
So, sounds like all of these tools, even though we're using them, they're really just redirecting us to the inner work.
Oh, yes.
Indeed. Yeah.
That is so true. Self-love, right?
Yes. Self love, self acceptance, self forgiveness. I mean,
Yes.
we want it to be an external thing, the quick fix, the magic pill, the band aid, whatever it is. But it really just, I mean, happiness is an inside job. You're the only one that can do it.
Yes, you cannot expect anyone else to make you happy, because they're never going to be able to do it. They're always going to be disappointing you if you don't work on ourselves. And that's where I was. I was so disappointed with myself, and I learned so much. I cried so much in the 2 years that I did all this, letting go of all this stuff that, it's not healthy for us. I was so sick when I started that. I was I was taking Dilaudids like crazy. I was, for my pain from fibromyalgia, I'd been in 6 car accidents. I walked with a cane. I couldn't do anything. And when I started getting rid of all these things and releasing all this stuff, gradually now, hey, I do a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love
Yes,
that. And you mentioned NLP. And for those in the audience that don't know what that is neuro linguistic programming, right?
that's correct. You got it.
So, how do you use that?
Neurolinguistic program is all about if you take your brain and you think about your story that you have in your life right now. If you don't like your story, we can retrain your brain to a new story and create the path and the dreams that you want and make them happen.
Can you give a small example?
Okay, an example would be that you would do uh, anger release or a grief release. And then from that point on, we give tasks and we work with hypnotherapy to train your brain to believe a different story that you want it to believe. Like, let's say you want to move forward and you want to have a new career, but you have this thing going in your brain that says, you can't do that. You're not that smart. There's no way. We can take your brain and we can work through releasing emotions, negative emotions, and limiting beliefs. And we can retrain that brain to say, hey, you know what? I think I could try this. And we can work with goals and we do emotion tracking and things like that. And it helps your brain to follow that new path because our brains are trainable. We're always learning, it's always growing. And so it is never an end unless you choose it to be an end. So we are what we want to be. We have the choice to be.
Yes. That sounds like magic. I want to know more about that.
It kind of is, but
Yeah.
it's a real life magic. It totally can transform you. And I honestly didn't think in my wildest dreams that I could ever be starting a business at my age and loving it and loving life.
Yes. Now, you can start a business at any age and start a new career at any age, go back to school at any age. Like, I love what you said. Age is just a number and yours is unlisted.
Absolutely. And you know what? And my goal in life is I want to live to be 110 and still active and still doing things. So,
Let's all do it. I'm
yes.
with you. Sounds amazing. And then I think the last thing you mentioned was Reiki, which is I think another thing you and I share in common.
You know what? When I started with Reiki, I honestly had no clue what Reiki was. And when I did my first session, and it was just so relaxing. You could lay there forever and just listen to that music and let someone just and this was online. This is not
Yes.
in person. It's online and you can just be so relaxed. So I took a course and it was an online with a college that you don't have a professor, you just do it by yourself, right? And I thought, I don't really like this. I don't feel like I can do anything with this. Then I met this wonderful woman, and you know her, Jocelyn.
Yeah.
And I ended up taking her course with Reiki with her in person, and we practiced on each other, and we did it all through Zoom. And this was just so cool doing it and learning it and really truly understanding it now instead of just flipping through a test that you can go back and cheat on, whatever. This was real life, and you're actually doing it, right? It
Yes.
was so different, and I fell in love with it and doing distance Reiki, and I'm now learning how to do Reiki on my dog because I have an issue with my dog. So I'm learning how to do it on my dog.
Yes. No, I took animal Reiki as well because I have one cat who's super anxious and another one who lost a lot of weight. And so I've been practicing on them for several months. I've seen a difference and they seem to be happier. So I
Well, here's to hoping because my one dog, he's got this issue with the other dog being near me and he attacks him. So he's just, yeah, he just all of a sudden started this. So Ricky's going to come to help him and get him out of this.
yes, mommy can share. You can share, mommy.
Yeah, really.
And you are in what part of Canada?
I am in just near Windsor, Ontario. We're just outside of Windsor.
I love it. It's so
Yeah.
great. Like, the internet connects me with so many people, and my Reiki master, to both of my Reiki masters are actually in Canada as well. I
Oh,
connected with them through COVID and started on the path really for self-healing. It just was like I experienced it at a retreat and had no clue what it was up until that point, but just felt this amazing release, tension, energy, emotions, the whole thing. And at the same time, there was a sound healer present. She was doing like quick little 15-minute chakra alignments. I also didn't know what the chakras were back then. Now I love them. I'm like, oh, it's a rainbow. I got it. But it was great. I had a bad headache, low back pain. And after her session, both were gone, like without drugs or pain management or anything. And I remember hanging out with all the Reiki masters and the sound healer and just picking their brains and learning everything I could. And yeah, it's
That's awesome.
amazing that
It's
I love holistic remedies.
absolutely, like, I call myself the holistic healer because that's what I do. I am a doTERRA representative, and I also developed a chakra oil kit. And there is 7 oils, one for each chakra, and the balance just to have every day so that you can have a balanced start to your day.
That
It's
is,
really kind of cool what oils can do for the chakras as well, how it can clear them. And yeah, it's
yeah.
pretty amazing.
I like working with oils. Sound is a big one for me. Colors and food. I feel like
Yes,
there's
there's
a couple.
so much, eh? It's unlimited what we can do to help ourselves and not be a part to that. Take something and get 6 more things from it.
Right. Like, what is the actual root cause? Not just the symptom, the symptom, the symptom. And then
Yes,
if I take this, it's going to cause 5 other problems. So,
yes, absolutely.
and
Yes.
a lot of that's also getting us out of our head and back into our bodies.
Oh, it truly is it, but it's such a it takes us forever to get there, right? It's
Yeah.
like get with the program. Come on, just do it.
Yes. Well, if you get your brain to do multiple things, it's a lot easier. So I've been practicing some Tai Chi and Qigong and just like
Ooh.
the movements and the breath. And there's just too much to focus on. So it almost shuts off the brain. I can't do my to do list. I can't think about what I'm going to do after class. Like I'm fully present. And that's really cool.
Oh, that is. I like that.
Yeah. So for our viewers, do you have any other tips or words of wisdom to help if they're experiencing that grief from any of those things you listed?
I would say if you have no other option, the best thing you can do for yourself is to stop and breathe and think of a good moment, because
Mhm.
our good moments are what get us through life, regardless of if you're dealing with grief, if you're just having a bad day. Just breathing and thinking of some happy thought can change everything in your outlook, and focus on those things that you want to achieve and not dwell on those things that you haven't done. Because, like you said, what you focus on is what comes to our reality. So, if you focus on something good that you want to happen in your life, chances are that will happen. And if it means that you want to focus on, I need to get out of this grief, the person who you need is going to come into your life. Whether you find it or they find you, it will happen. So if it's your choice to get out of something, just keep focusing on it. It'll happen. The universe is amazing.
Yes, it's that patience thing that I have a little problem with,
Yeah, don't we all?
right? They told
Yes.
me it would get better with age. I think it's gotten worse. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they were fibbing. They were fibbing. Well, this is awesome. What else? How can people find you? I'll drop links in the show notes for sure. But do you have anything going on? Any programs you want to talk about?
I'm in the process of trying to work on a project. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to combine all those things together and do a little master class. So that's my goal. And I've been laid up for a little bit this summer. I've had some kind of weird things happening to me. My grandson gave me a hug and dislocated several ribs, and then I fell and I busted up my foot. So I'm wearing a boot. So it's been kind of one of those summers. So I am working on those things. I have a book that's coming out, and so I'm really excited about that. And I'm co-author, and I also will be at the trade show in Toronto in November, hopefully. And so I'm really excited about that. But my website is just being redone, and you can visit the website at peacockmemories.com. I'm on Instagram as Peacock Memories, and also on Facebook as Karen Tavolieri. And if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to answer or just chat. I don't mind chatting and just seeing where you are, what you need, how can I help you.
Yes, we did a coffee chat and it was lovely. Now, can we circle back to that book for a moment? How many authors are there?
There is 130 authors. The oldest one is 92. And we are working on, it's all about motherhood,
Mm,
unfiltered. And we're going for a #1 bestseller on the New York Times, as well as we are going for a world record of the most women in a book at one time.
I love it. And when does that come out?
It's supposed to be out in the end of September, early October-ish. We're still waiting for the edits to finish, and then we'll have the dates and everything. And I will be publishing that on my website and as well.
Awesome. And as soon I'll be posting it and sharing as well for everybody watching. So as soon as
Awesome.
you know, I'll know, and then we'll get the word out. We will make those two things happen. Well, at least one.
Awesome.
You've guys already done the other one.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
very exciting. I have a lot of girlfriends who are moms and would benefit greatly from that book, I can tell.
Yes, it's going to it's if you have an issue in your life being a mom, this book will be a book to read because it's got anything and everything about being a mother. Any struggle, any triumph, it's all in there. It's going to be amazing.
What a great way to connect women from all over the world.
Yes, and I'm going to take some of the books and I want to make them available at the hospitals when women have babies. So they will
Yeah.
have a gift that they will be able to have and take home. And if they're struggling, read a chapter. You'll see that things work out. They really do.
That's amazing. And are you still doing retreats?
Not at this time right now. I don't have any booked, but hopefully in the future. And I'm looking to possibly be doing a mini power word class online. So I
Oh,
might do that. So that would be a real cool one, I think, to get some people together and do a coffee, whatever you like to drink, get that and sit for an hour and do that on Zoom. I think that would be a great night, kind of like those art things, but doing it on Zoom so more people around the world can get the benefit of it.
I love that. Yeah, we'll definitely keep us posted
Yeah.
and share once you get that listed. So thank you so much, Karen. I love our chat so much. It always feels like it goes by so fast.
Yes, it does. And thank you so much for having me on. I really, like I said, your energy just boosts me up. And it's like, now I feel like I can go conquer the world.
May we all go do that.
Yes,
110, right? 110.
absolutely.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you're catching this on the replay, we thank you and appreciate you.
Yes.
Any questions in the comments, feel free to reach out to Karen and have a lovely evening.
Thank
Send
you.
me like to
Bye.